important guest for this evening is I have the pleasure of introducing. We're all kind of transportation walks, right? And we forget that transportation is about people and people is about culture. So we are so proud to have the 5th Illinois Poet Laureate, Angela Jackson, as our special guest this evening. She's an award-winning poet, novelist, and playwright. She's published 3 chapter books and 4 volumes of poetry. She was born in Greenville, Mississippi, and raised on Chicago's South Side. She was educated at Northwestern University and the University of Chicago. It's a long list of books, but I will read it. Her collections of poetry include Voodoo Love Magic, Dark Legs and Silk Kisses, The Beatitudes of Spinners, which was awarded a Carl Sandburg Award in the Chicago Sun-Times Friends of Literature Book of the Year Award. All These Roads Be Luminous, Poems Selected and New, nominated for the National Book Award, and it seems like a mighty long time that was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize, the Penn Open Book Award, the finalist for the Hurston Wright Legacy Award, and finalist for the Milt Kessler Poetry Prize. She received the Pushcart Prize and the American Book Award for Solo in the Boxcar, Third Floor E. Jackson's next book, More Than Meat and Raiment, is scheduled to be published this year. She's written several plays, and the list is long, but we are so happy to have her with us. Ladies and gentlemen, poet Angela Jackson.
It's my pleasure and honor to be here with you this afternoon. I am proud to be with people who vote with their feet and who make change with their bodies. I'm going to begin with 3 poems on the bus. The first about the most famous woman to ride the bus. Miss Rosa rides the bus. This was in 1955. That day in December, I sat down by Miss Muffet of Montgomery. I was myriad weary, feet swole from sewing seams on a filthy fabric, tired sore of peddling the rusty singer, dingy cotton thread jammed in the eye. All life long I'd slide through century rings, loathsome with tears, dreaming my own silk self. It was not like they all say, Miss Liberty Muffet, she didn't jump at the sight of me. Not exactly. They hauled me away, 1,000 kicking legs pinned down. The rest of me, I tell you, a cloud, beautiful trouble on the dead December horizon, come to sit in judgment. How many miles as the Jim Crow flies over oceans, and some I rumbled. They couldn't hold me down long, no. My feet were tired, my eyes were sore, my heart was raw from hemming dirty edges of Miss L. Muffet's garment. I rode again 1,000 bloody miles after the crow flies. That day in December, long remembered, when I sat down beside Miss Muffet of Montgomery, I said, like the jokes say, what's in the bowl, thief? I said, that's your curse. I said, this my way. She slipped her frock, disembarked, settled in the suburbs, deaf, mute, lewd, and blind. The bowl she left behind, the empty bowl mine, the spoiled dress. Jim Crow dies, and ravens come with crumbs. They say, eat and be satisfied. I fast and pray and ride. And an anonymous woman on the bus, her memory coming home. Her mouth is open, but she's not singing. Her eyes are closed, but she's not asleep. A rest pause at 11 o'clock while the wheels of the church bus take her from singing to distress. 15 years ago, she was in love, a knot of time. It didn't work out. He never laid a hand on her that wasn't like a wing in flight. She flew under him. He came into a room and made the furniture make sense, stretched out on the sofa, put his coffee feet on the coffee table. The bed, he made a sea. He made a sky at 11, an hour before midnight. Love is a strange dish. Some people only try it once. Sometimes it's only served one time. Plates go right past you. Her mouth water, a singing. Her eyes are closed. Oh, God is good. God made everything. Sea, coffee, wing, knot, sky, dish, 11 o'clock. Curious, belief doesn't diminish desire. The eyes flutter, fly, open. And lastly, on the bus with that same woman, her love in autumn on the church bus. She considers when she was young and supple as a spring flower bush, blooms beginning to show. She leans her head back on the cushion and remembers the shyness of her love, how it was never spoken but sung through her eyes. She kept her desire closed, barely open, the way it was. Now she shields her eyes and rests her thickened body on the bus cushion. Every day is worrisome, working as the leaves work color to remember. The only wondrous thing is memory alternating with hope. Does a woman get more than one love in her life? Ask the bush, see how it burns. Thank you for clapping. You could save it, but if you want to keep clapping, that's fine too. Once I took a trip by car with 3 other women, and they were going to Leland, Mississippi, and I was going to Greenville. The love of travelers. At the rest stop on the way to Mississippi, we found the butterfly mired in the oil slick, its wings thick and blunted. One of us, tender in the fingertips, smooth with a tissue, the oil that came off only a little. The oil-smeared wings like lips colored with lipstick, blotted before a kiss. So delicate, the cleansing of the wings, I thought the color, soft as watercolors, would wash off under the method of her mercy for something so slight and graceful, injured beyond the love of travelers. It was torn then, even after her kindest work, the almost moth, exquisite charity could not mend. What weighted the wing, melded with it, then ruptured it in release. The body of the thing lifted out of its place between the washed wings. Imagine the agony of a self separated by gentlest repair. Should we kill it? One of us said, and I said yes, but none of us had the nerve. We walked away, the last of the oil welding the butterfly to the wood of the picnic table. The wings stuck out and quivered when wind went by. Whoever found it must have marveled at this and loved it for what it was and had been. I think meticulous mercy is the work of travelers, and leaving things as they are, punishment or reward. I have died for the smallest things, nothing washes off. I thought of this poem that was written in the 90s because of the drought that's going on in Eastern Africa right now, and because so much of what you're doing is about the climate catastrophes that are going on right now. Niger, no exit. A child, a brown child, brown skin with ragged, pink, open sores, lying still, so still, not even twitching to the tiny touch of flies. Another with parasites in her mouth, oh, Africa, could not eat if there was something still, so still. Others eat thin rodents, rotting carcasses of cattle, flies everywhere, flies lighting, rising, lighting on the drought, dusty faces of children. What would weeping do? Still I do. Years before, a little brown girl put her head on her desk and cried out. She wanted nothing to do with Africa. They got flies all around their heads, she said. Years before, I was not much more than a brown girl in a pristine classroom. We read Sartre's No Exit, or was it The Flies? Flies everywhere, a metaphor for hell. I don't believe in hell, only heaven, God, ostensibly forgot, yet keeps circling around, lighting, rising, lightning on the face, the surface of the world, the faces of children. And when they were talking to one of the women in East Africa nowadays, they asked her about God, and she said, God has forgotten us. That's what it feels like. And I hope we don't forget them. I wrote down the number to where to send contributions. Now I got to find where I put it. Okay. For our people, this is a response to Margaret Walker's For My People, written in 1942. I was lucky enough to have Margaret Walker as my professor at Northwestern, and I heard her read For My People, and I knew then at 18 that one day I would write something to her for our people. For our people everywhere, singing their gospels and their rap, their blues, R&B and their jazz, their soul and their neo soul, all great black music, scuffling, scrimping, struggling to get by, for our people working as wage slaves in collars blue, white, and pink, doing the best they can with what they have, hoping it will not be taken away with a pink slip, a sudden slip from a parapet on cement into disability or welfare or not, hustling to keep from being crushed on the unemployment line. For our people, for the way of years sipping summer from a tall glass of ice water, buttermilk, and cornbread out of a mayonnaise jar, years testing watermelon, cutting a plug of sweetness, knocking on the round or oblong to listen to the taste, for the excellence of young boys running like they stole something, but only owning themselves and the strength in their legs, and girls who could keep up before breath held them back. For our people and red Kool-Aid days, for smothered chicken and our cries smothered in a world that did not adore us but ignored us, or worse, and ran us back on the other side of the viaduct where we belong, not in the wild world we could conquer or excel in, given the gates opening and tools for redress. For our people everywhere, growing gardens on vacant lots, training roses and black-eyed Susans and perennials in front yards, raking leaves and shoveling snow, scooping dew and picking up litter, washing and ironing out the wrinkles of everyday existence. For our people running with nowhere to go, watching television and movies, looking for ourselves, searching books and the nooks and crannies of history for a glimpse of what was waylaid and what is to be, in barber shops and beauty parlors and ice cream parlors and the stone faces in funeral parlors, picking up children from school, from daycare, taking them to football, soccer, baseball, tennis, basketball, volleyball, having a ball at family reunions on Saturday nights. For our people who came in chains, tortured over turbulent waves, broken-hearted and broken-tongued and broken magic, broken bloodlines, strangled and whipped, distraught and driven to the edge of the mind and beyond. For our people leaping to the sea, feeding sharks and myths and cautionary tales, surviving the journey to reach auction blocks, a prurient pedestal for deposed queens and chieftains, villagers humiliated, abused, raped, and riddled with misery into exquisite survivals, changing vocabulary and clothes, changing into sleek panthers and superheroes, making the world safe for demonstrations of protest and affection, all beauty and love, scapegoated, pilloried, denied the excellence we bring. For our people grasping for gadgets and genuflecting to electric celebrity, worshiping trinkets and noisome symbols that blink and itch the eyes, gaming and gambling and laughing to keep from crying and crying, laughing, cracking up and falling out, drinking suicide and spilling milk and blood, gunned down under lampposts, in playgrounds, blooding in drive-bys, in alleys, in living rooms, in bed, sleeping. For our people bludgeoned by police at each other, killed by presumptuous watchers, taxed for black and driving while black, shot in the back, falsely convicted, sentenced to dwell alone and want to be redeemed, incarcerated in stone, tracked in department stores, harassed, stalked in malls, and all the places people spend and sell. Our people selling loose squares, oil, socks, and peanuts on the corners of our desperate longing for hair, for nails, for body graffiti, for our people in the casinos scheming in pennies from heaven with one-armed pirates dreaming in die and cards and dealers dreaming numbers and playing them till they hit, for our people drowning in spirits, burning throats and pockets, losing it all, spoiling livers, lungs, and kidneys, hearts with too much, each of us addicted to drugs of fashion, to ancient hurt, choosing crabs in a barrel or lifting as we climb, each one, teach one, for our people who do not belong to me, but to all of us, for we belong to each other, must hold each other in heart and mind, for our people in the citadels of learning and the one-room schoolhouse, in the storefronts of funeral parlor fans and the cathedrals of painted windows and arched ceilings that lend toward sky, for our people in the baptismal pool, in white robes on the edge of the river, for our people chanting and praying and hoping for a sweeter brew to sip and savor. Let a new earth arise, let justice pour like trembling rain, and mercy prevail as plentiful fields. Let our strength be matched by vulnerable honesty of heart. May resilience be our guide, for we will stumble and then will rise, more able having fallen, more beautiful having met each other along the way as we lifted each other up. Hero people who go out of their way for love and stay on the way of goodness. Let our people be the people who remember and believe that love is all our portions, all our currencies, and all our one. Each of us, injured or exalted, betrayer or betrayed, muted and declamatory, all one. Each of us, all of us, each a private star beloved in the universe. Each of us, creature of burdens and singing angel merged as one, alive and moving upward, holding on and lifting this earth, our house, precious and precarious, and God be our witness between this gravity and this grace. Hold tight and fly. Thank you.